Good morning everybody, and welcome to another episode of Memoirs of a Trader. Have you subscribed? If you haven't subscribed, I'm just going to stand here all day until you subscribe. I've got all the time in the world. Yeah? No? Subscribe. Let's read out more of your questions. So do you think analysing twice a week, weekends and midweek is enough, or would you recommend more or less? In all honesty, it depends on you. Personally, I of course analyse on the weekend, and then midweek probably a couple of times, and probably again on Friday, because there are some great moves that you can catch on Friday. But it all depends on you. Some people analyse every day. I just don't have the time. I tend to just analyse a couple of times a week. If I'm happy with the profits, just close. If not, let the trade play out. And that's all. So it all depends on you, but yeah, midweek is fine. The best 5 books that will help you with forex trading, in all honesty, you don't need 5, you need just 1. Left Brain Trading, that's the only book you really need. Don't consume yourself with reading too many books, because then it's just going to cloud your judgment. Because remember, a book is someone's interpretation of something, something that they've learned, something that they've studied, and so they've written about it. So it's an interpretation, it's not factual. So don't get too consumed with reading too many books about forex trading or investing or anything of that sort, because you'll just start clouding your judgment, pick up bad habits, because you're listening to one person and then the next person is saying something else, and you think actually that's probably a better idea. So Left Brain Trading, just focus on understanding your mindset. That's all you need. From my experience and instinct, if someone is a bad trader, keeps losing money and does not listen, would I advise them to quit? Yes. And there's been many students in the past in which we've tried for a few years and the trading game just isn't for them. So that's where the reality comes in. But then there are a lot of stubborn people who just don't listen or think they know best and don't put in the effort or the time into learning their craft. And so I would advise them, probably this isn't the best thing for you. Also, do I have downtime away from my phone and digital devices? In my circumstance, that's really hard, because obviously my business is based primarily on the internet and on my mobile phone, because I need to trade. I need my phone to trade. I need my laptop to help run the business along with my associates, and so that's very difficult. Do I have downtime away from it? Absolutely. But at the same time, I've got to be realistic, and I've got to run a business, and I've got to trade to put food on my own family's table. For a lot of you guys, I would highly recommend, if you don't have that commitment to your phone in which you need it, then absolutely have some downtime. And I wish I was in that position in which I could literally put my phone down for like a week, not look at it, but unfortunately that's just not the case. If I could, I would. And so if any of you guys who have that possibility of even 24 hours, 48 hours, do so. You'll find it a lot more refreshing. Where do I get my patience from? Is it something that I always had, or is it something that I learned? I think when it comes to patience, I was very impatient when I was younger, and I think the main thing, it came with age. The more older I got, the more mature I got, and then the more I learned to give things time to materialize, to play out. And especially when it comes to trading, we all know that we need to give things time to play out. So I think it came as I matured as an individual, rather than something that I learned. I don't think you can really learn patience unless you force it. Forced to like keep away from things or not do things, or don't be so jumpy or spontaneous at something. But I think the best way, it just comes with experience more than anything else. When did I know that I was going to be a trader, and how did I become so resilient? I think for me, it was when you see the fruits of your labor, all the time, effort and all the commitment that you put into your craft. I think when you see the pips, the monetary value and the consistent wins versus the minimal losses, I think you start to believe yourself, you start to believe in your ability. And that's when I knew that I think that I'm gonna continue down this road over everything else. And how did I become so resilient? I think that when you've incurred the amount of losses I have trying to learn this skill, trying to get to the level in which you want to maintain success, you start to force yourself to be disciplined, to have that emotional control, so that you can string trades together. And so resilience comes with me wanting it so much, because I knew that if I got this right, it would change my life and everybody else around me also. I just persevered, I continued, and I never gave up, because I knew that if I got this right, it would absolutely change my life. How much am I worth? That's an interesting question. Do you know what? When you go onto Google one day and you see it come up, that's when you'll find out how much I'm worth. I hope that answers that question.